let me just get right to the NFC and the AFC championship game this year, okay? Let's start with the NFC first. Let's get this out of the way. Because when we think about them, the NFC that I'm talking about, for so long we've been talking about the San Francisco 49ers. They looked so formidable. They were running roughshod over everybody. And I thought that they were destined. And when they rolled up into Philadelphia with funeral outfits on, saying they were coming for the Philadelphia Eagles funeral, and then they commenced to busting the Eagles' living ass, I said, whoa, this is different. This is something a little different. And as a result of that, I said San Francisco's got to be the team to beat. But then fast forward, a 3-game losing streak. Even before that, where Debo went down, Debo Samuels goes down, Trent Williams goes down. Your left tackle, okay? I said, okay, they looked a little bit vulnerable right now. Brock Purdy don't look like himself without those two dudes before they turned it around and started looking the way that they're supposed to look. And then, when they won this winning streak, and they looked absolutely awesome, they ran into Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens in Santa Clara, by the way, and got obliterated. Obliterated. And because of that reality, an inescapable reality, all of a sudden we started looking at the San Francisco 49ers a little bit differently. Sure, they won, but they bent a lot. Their secondary could be exploited. You could see it. They didn't look as formidable at getting at the quarterback, at stopping the run at all times. They were opportunistic and they made plays or what have you, but still in all, too much still came down to Purdy. Too much still came down to Christian McCaffrey. Too much still came down to Debo Samuel. Okay? And I thought about it and I said, you know something? I'm still going to believe in them. And then Debo Samuel in that divisional playoff game against the Green Bay Packers last week hurt his shoulder. And when he hurt his shoulder and he had to come out in the first quarter for the rest of the game, and San Francisco almost lost that game to Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, a quarterback in his first year throwing a football in a playoff series, or in a playoff game rather. He did it the week before against Dallas. And then, obviously, he was coming to get San Francisco this past weekend. They exploited him. They picked off 2 passes. And ultimately, it was lights out. But let me tell you something. I don't know if I could see that happening to the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is playing lights out like one of the best quarterbacks in football. Amon-Ra St. Brown is looking like an all-world receiver. Certainly looked better than Stephon Diggs looked when Josh Allen was throwing him the football in Buffalo against the Kansas City Chiefs this past weekend. I can tell you that much. Amon-Ra St. Brown looked like a stud. So does Sam Laporta, the tight end. Jameson Williams can't be ignored. And out of the backfield, you got a tandem. David Montgomery is very gifted and skilled maneuvering his way in between tackles. He's rough. He's rough and tumble. He can deal with the hostility. We get all of that. But Jameer Gibbs, or Jamar Gibbs, can do whatever you need him to do. The brother's electrifying. And I look at the Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 49ers, and you know what I'm thinking in my mind? They can take them. So I reached this conclusion. I said, Debo plays, San Francisco wins. Debo, and I'm talking about a healthy Debo, not an injured Debo just hobbling around. And Debo doesn't play, and San Francisco loses, and the Detroit Lions, winners before these playoffs began, winners of one playoff game since 1957. So the Detroit Lions going to the Super Bowl. It's that simple to me. Debo will find a way. No one else will. So I want to just put that out there, okay? If you see Debo in the lineup, I'm picking San Francisco. If you see Debo out of the lineup, I'm picking the Detroit Lions. I have no such dilemma. I have no such dilemma with the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is otherworldly. 13-3 in his postseason career. Averaging over 300 passing yards a game, like 385, so just 325, something like that. Okay? The brother is electrifying. There is no doubt about that. Travis Kelce is old reliable. Pacheco is somebody who can run the football. You can't underestimate him. And none of the receivers have dropped passes in the playoffs that I remember. So I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm saying Kansas City is no joke because Patrick Mahomes is truly electrifying. But this year, I believe, is Lamar Jackson's year. They're the number 1 seed. They've been running roughshod over everybody. They destroyed Detroit. They destroyed Seattle. They destroyed the San Francisco 49ers. I believe in this Baltimore Ravens team. And I believe that a Kansas City Chiefs team, my apologies, that are going to find themselves in a position where they're playing, where, they're going up against Lamar Jackson. I don't know how they're going to be able to contain him. He can run with the football. He can throw with the football. And I'm quite sure that their initial diagnosis, their initial thinking, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs saying they got to be worried about us too, we're the number 2 defense. Scoring defense, total defense, we're number 2. You can also say, okay, you're saying that, but let me also say this to you. Baltimore plays zone. And if anybody can exploit a zone, it's Patrick Mahomes. You can say all of those things because Baltimore really plays man-to-man. So they're playing areas, they're zoning out, and not only that, they can confuse the living hell out of you, and I don't see anybody confusing Patrick Mahomes. But I do think that the Baltimore Ravens have entirely too many weapons. I count Lamar Jackson as damn near three weapons rolled into one. He can throw, he can run, and damn it, because he can run the way that he can run, he ain't some regular conventional runner. He's on another dimension. So I just look at him and I just say, he'll find a way against Patrick Mahomes. And could you imagine if he pulls this off? If he is electrifying in a performance and it's a nip and tuck battle and they're going back and forth and Lamar Jackson finds a way to outduel Patrick Mahomes, that would be a game changer, ladies and gentlemen. That would be a game changer.